Hello, everyone. Sue.oneschuk here, continuing the workbook lessons of A Course in Miracles. And today we're on lesson 194, and I'm going to proceed with reading the lesson, and then I'm going to also read from A Year of Forgiveness, the reflection on this particular lesson. So here is the lesson. I place the future in the hands of God. Today's idea takes another step toward quick salvation and a giant stride. It is indeed. So great the distance is that it encompasses, or so great the distance is that it encompasses, it sets you down just short of heaven with the goal in sight and obstacles behind. Your foot has reached the lawns that welcome you to heaven's gate, the quiet place of peace, where you await with certainty the final step of God. How far are we progressing now from Earth? How close are we approaching to our goal? How short the journey still to be pursued? Said, accept today's idea, and you have passed all anxiety, all pits of hell, all blackness of depression, thoughts of sin, and devastation brought about by guilt. Accept today's idea, and you have released the world from all imprisonment by loosening the heavy chains that lock the door to freedom on it. You are saved, and your salvation thus becomes the gift you give the world because you have received. So, all the anxiety, the fears, the feelings of depression, anything that's brought that on through our thoughts. Again, it says here the thoughts of sin, any guilt, all of that. Those are all the blocks to love. And what we're given here in this lesson is the opportunity to place our future into the hands of God instead of us being so, again, hooked into the past, the ego thought system that we have programmed ourselves with. And, to be able to, again, let that go and be in trust in placing your future in the hands of God. And again, you may want to read the steps of trust in the manual for teachers. We are in the process of our practicing. We are building this trust, and there are stages or steps in building that trust. So it says, in no one instant is depression felt or pain experienced or loss perceived. In no one instant, sorrow can be set upon a throne or worshiped faithfully. In no one instant can one even die. And so each instant given unto God in passing, with the next one given him already, is a time of your release from sadness, from pain, and even death itself. And Mary, in the ego thought system, we believe in sacrifice, suffering, pain, and death. So God holds your future as he holds your past and present. They are one to him, and so they should be one to you. Yet in this world, the temporal progression still seems real. And so you are not asked to understand the lack of sequence really found in time. You are but asked to let the future go and place it in God's hands. Well, we continue to bring our past into the present moment. We continue to create a future of the past. And we're, again, being asked here to let that go and to allow the future to be presented by God. We can still have our visions of the future, but we really don't know what else is possible. Because the possibilities through God are endless. They're beyond measure. They're beyond what we can in our own mind. We can't, let me stop for a minute here. It's beyond a scope that we can even fathom. But we need to let go and be in that space of freedom to place our future in the hands of God. Remembering that our divine inheritance is peace, joy, love, happiness, abundance. That's what God's will is for us. It said, but you are but asked to let the future go and place it in God's hands. And you will see by your experience that you have laid the past and present in his hands as well, because the past will punish you no more. It's letting go of the past. And the future dread will now be meaningless. You don't need to dread the future when we truly are living in trust and placing that future in the hands of God. It says, release the future, for the past is gone and what is present, freed from its bequest of grief and misery and pain, of pain and loss, becomes the instant in which time escapes the bondage of illusions, which it runs its pitiless, inevitable course. Live in the illusions, it's inevitable. We're going to create more and more what is not real, create more and more of the illusions. Then is each instant, which was slave to time, transformed into a holy instant, when the light that was kept hidden in God's Son is freed to bless the world. Now is he free, and all his glory shines upon a world made free with him to share his holiness. And I'll say also to share his holiness, his innocence, or to share our holiness, our innocence, and our sinlessness. If you can see the lesson for today as the deliverance it really is, you will not hesitate to give as much consistent effort as you can to make it be a part of you. As it becomes a thought that rules your mind, a habit in your problem-solving repertoire, a way of quick reaction to temptation, you extend your learning to the world. And as you learn to see salvation in all things, so will the world perceive that it is saved. What worry can beset the one who gives his future to the loving hands of God? What can he suffer? What can cause him pain or bring experience of loss to him? What can he fear? And what can he regard except with love? For he who has escaped all fear of future pain has found his way to present peace and certainty of care the world can never threaten. He is sure that his perception may be faulty, but will never lack correction. We always have the opportunity to correct. A sin is only a lack of love, the Course tells us. And again, any mistake is only an opportunity, or is a mistake is something to be corrected. We make it wrong and we hold on to it. He said he is sure that his perception, again, may be faulty, but will never lack correction. We have the gift of the Holy Spirit to correct our mind, to bring us into the holy, which brings us into the holy instant. and thus the miracle, which is the shift of perception, which is all done by the Holy Spirit. We just need to give it over again. So he is free to choose again when he has been deceived, to change his mind when he has made mistakes. It's all we need to do, to change our mind with the help of the Holy Spirit. Place then your future in the hands of God, for thus you call the memory of him to come again, replacing all your thoughts of sin and evil with the truth of love. Think you the world could fail to gain thereby, and every living creature not respond with healed perception? Who entrusts himself to God has also placed the world within the hands to which he has himself appealed for comfort and security. He lays aside the sick illusions of the world along with his and offers peace to both. Now are you saved indeed? For in God's hands we rest, untroubled, sure that only good can come upon us or could come to us. If we forget, we will be gently reassured. If we accept an unforgiving thought, it will be soon replaced by love's reflection. I'm going to read that again. Now are we saved indeed, for in God's hands we rest untroubled, sure that only God can come to us. If we forget, again, we will be gently reassured. And if we accept an unforgiving thought, it will soon be replaced by love's reflection. And if we are tempted to attack, we will appeal to him who guards our rest to make the choice for us that leaves temptation far behind. No longer is the world our enemy, for we have chosen that we be its friend. So that's the lesson as it is in the workbook. And now I will read the channeled message that Louise Spalding, the author of this book, A Year of Forgiveness, she channels Jesus. And this is what Jesus is saying through Tina about this lesson. So we not only get Jesus's message in the Course in Miracles, but here's another to help us to gain a deeper understanding and thus a deeper experience of the Course. So he says, Jesus says, you are blessed beings indeed. I am the one you know, it's Jesus. Does this not sound like a great relief to you to place your future into the hands of God? The ego tells you this is not safe, that you should place your future in its hands. I'm going to say that again. The ego tells you this is not safe, that you place your future in God's hands. It has great plans to control the world, judge people, and keep everything in order. Just take a minute to think about that. Which feeling gives you a sense of security? Which option makes you feel safer? Allowing the ego to do what it does, or giving, your future to the hands of God? After all, God is that benevolent force that has created you. Why would God allow anything untoward happen to you? Your sicknesses are of the ego's manufacture. They do not come from God. Even though we've been programmed to think, I'm going to add that here, even though we've been programmed to think that the sickness comes from God. Of course, it's telling us it's not the truth. Again, sickness comes from fears, resistance, and control issues. They come from you trying to do what you do in a separated, isolated, and demented mind. Your sicknesses do not come from God. And that is why it is so important for you to realize the power of this decision. The decision is to place a future into the hands of God. Health, life, and love are in God's image, not death, sickness, pain, and suffering. You must observe the fruits of the thought system that you follow. This is what we're doing as we go through the day. I'm interjecting here. Somehow can't help to in a moment. We need to observe during the day, you know, where we're thinking from. Are we thinking from health, from vitality and life and love, or which is all God's image? Or are we thinking from sickness, pain, and suffering and death? Again, this is what we're doing as we go through our day, as best of our ability, moment by moment, is to check into our thoughts. So you must understand that God is love, and death is not of God. Sickness is not of God. Again, health, living, creativity, vitality, and loving are of God. You are made in God's image. Make this decision throughout the day today. Do not worry about the future. Do not think about what might happen if you do this and you do that. Trust that in this moment, that if you do your best in whatever situation you are in, you forgive and you bring love to whatever you do, then you do in fact trust in a divine purpose. Thus, you are giving your future over to the hands of God. In that surrender, your destiny, you relax and you do the very best you can in this moment. Instead of being contaminated by fear and worry and resentment, you stay present. You are, in this holy instant, loving. That's who you are right now. That will guarantee you a beautiful future. And I want to add, that is what we are remembering, that we are love, we are holy, we are innocent, we are sinless. So it concludes here by saying, I am the one you know as Jesus, and I will speak to you again. All right. I trust that is helpful to you today, and great opportunity today to, in any moment that we may feel out of our peace, disturbed in any way, triggered, confused, upset, caught up in the illusion, that is a red flag, so to speak, to stop, take a moment, and release it to the Holy Spirit. And again, as the lesson says, and I place the future in the hands of God. All right. So that is lesson 194. And I look forward to being with you, continuing these lessons. In the next video, we will be on lesson 195. And in the meantime, please go below this video here on YouTube, and please like, comment, share, and share the video out to whoever else you may think would be interested in, the study and practice of the Course in Miracles for themselves. And also, please subscribe if you haven't already. And for those of you who have done all of that, liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, because this community is continuing to build. All right. Have a love-filled day. And from my heart to yours, I extend to you, much love. Bye for now.